Now we will study about another type of connective tissue, that is skeletal tissue. As said earlier, skeletal tissue mainly consists of cartilages and bones that forms the endoskeletal framework of the body. Of vertebrates. Thus, the main function of skeletal tissue involves providing a resistant material for the attachment to muscle. There are basically two types of skeletal tissue, cartilages and bones. Skeletal tissue and fluid tissue, that is blood, are both considered as a specialized connective tissue. So let us begin with the first type of skeletal tissue, that is cartilage. Cartilage, as said earlier, is a specialized connective tissue since it possesses matrix which is solidified in nature, which is different from the others. The cartilage is quite distinct from other tissues in various properties such as structural, functional, growth pattern, regeneration, and many others, on the basis of which classification of cartilage is done. It is mainly divided into four types. First is hyaline cartilage, then comes white fibrocartilage, yellow elastic white fibro, and last is calcified cartilage. Let us begin with the hyaline cartilage. This is a microscopic view of hyaline cartilage tissue. The word hyaline was derived from a Greek word hylos, which means glass. And why it was named so? Because, as it can be seen from the figure, the hyaline cartilage seemed to be a transparent, clear, bluish matrix containing glassy fluid substance. This type of cartilage is generally present in larynx, trachea, ribs, hyoid bone, and sternum. As it can be seen from the figure, the hyaline cartilage mainly consists of three types of cells: chondrocytes, lacunae, and matrix. Chondrocytes or chondroblasts are the substances or the cells that secrete the matrix known as chondrin. This chondrin matrix is arranged in a group of 2 to 4 or 8 filled-like substances in space called lacunae. Thus, cartilage cells consist of three types of cells, that is chondroblast, which secrete substance or matrix, that is chondrin, which acts as a ground substance. This matrix is arranged in a group of 2 to 4 to 8 fulfilling the space known as lacunae. These cells of hyaline cartilage are surrounded by a tough covering membrane which possesses blood vessels and known as perichondrium. The blood vessels within perichondrium helps in the transport of nutritive substances that diffuse along the cartilage. Now let us start with another type of cartilage tissue, that is white fibrocartilage. This figure represents the photographic microscopic view of white fibrocartilage. Here the cells that are represented in blue are chondrocyte cells that secrete the white or matrix, creating white fibers, that is collagen. This type of tissue is almost similar to that of white fibrous tissue present in proper connective tissue, except that it is present with cartilage in between the muscles, providing skeletal framework. These cells are bundles of collagen fibers. Here, the chondrocyte cells or the cartilage cells are usually ovoid in shape, surrounded by matrix. This type of tissue is generally found in the invertebral disc of the mammals, which provide a skeletal frame joining the cells and thereby connecting the structures. Next type of cartilage tissue is yellow fibrous cartilage. This type of cartilage is same as that the white fibrocartilage, except all that as seen from the figure, it possesses elastin, that is yellow fibers, because of the presence of pigment elastin. This type of cartilage is generally found in the ear pinna, nose, epiglottis, in certain other regions like them. Now we will study about the last type of cartilage tissue, that is calcified cartilage. This figure represents the image of a calcified cartilage. This type of cartilage is almost similar to that of hyaline one, except the cartilage matrix present here consists of salts or is embedded within salts within. Thereby, it increases the porosity of the bones. It is generally seen in a normal stage in the development of a cartilage during the early embryonic life. However, it is also present within the permanent tissue in the external ears of many mammals. Apart from that, it is also present in the pubics of the old frogs and at the head of the femur. Till now we have understood one of the two types of skeletal tissue, that is cartilage tissue. Now we will start with another type of skeletal tissue, that is bones. Bone is also a specialized connective tissue that performs various functions like this type of tissues is highly vascular and mineralized. It is hard and rigid and possesses regenerating capacity. It is resilient with constantly changing, that is regenerating power. The mature bone here is basically divided into, it consists of two types of tissue. One is compact bone and other is spongy. The ground matrix or the substance ground in both is composed of a protein known as osin, which is impregnated within the cell, consisting of organic salts and inorganic salts like lime salt, potassium, phosphorus, sodium salt, and many others. This figure shows the transverse section of a bone along with all the label parts. As studied, in an adult bone, flat irregular spaces occurs which is known as lacunae. Each lacuna consists of a flat bone-like substance which is known as osteocyte. Thus, an adult bone contains long intercellular spaces filled within solid matrix known as lacunae. Within lacunae, a flat bone cell occurs which is irregular in shape and performs cytoplasmic processes. This type of cell produced by lacunae is called osteocyte or flat bone cell. These processes extend into minute canals radiating out from lacuna to perform various processes. These lacuna are in communication with each other with structures known as fine-shaped canalicula. Thus, canalicula acts as mediator functioning for the communication of laminae with one another. In long dried bone of rock, large number of lamellae are present in the ground substance. In the center, there is a narrow cavity of the body of the bone which is known as bone marrow and is yellow in color. Thus, bone marrow forms the center part of the bone which is yellow in color and possesses narrow cavity. It is basically made up of adipose tissue, blood vessels, the bone marrow helps in increasing the thickness by the addition of successive layers to the outside as well as to the inner side. Generally in mammalian bones, many column-like structures known as Haversian canal is present. This canal exhibits several concentric layers that are parallel to each other, which is known as lamellae of bony matrix arranged in a longitudinal manner present in the central area. This canal helps in receiving the blood vessels carrying blood to the nerves and the vice versa. On the contrary, spongy bones are found in vertebrae, ribs, skull, since it contains red bone marrow that is present in the RBCs. It forms the seat for the formation of erythrocytes and granulocytes. This was in all about skeletal tissue.